And there you see Peyton Manning shaken up, losing his helmet. And that's a sight that no one connected with the Colts ever wants to see.
At this moment, the heart and soul of the Indianapolis Colts was rolling on the turf in pain. A shockwave was sent through the entire RCA Dome. The future of the team was immediately put in doubt. But somehow, Peyton Manning popped back up. He took a timeout and went on to finish the game with 4 passing touchdowns. However, it wasn't until years later till we truly seen the aftermath of the hit that not only changed the career of Peyton Manning, but the destiny of 2 NFL franchises. So get your popcorn ready, because you're watching Tales of the Gridiron. Peyton Manning is one of the few athletes who was drafted to become the next big thing, and not only met those expectations, but actually exceeded them. After all, he was 6'5" with a laser rocket arm.
6'5", 230-pound quarterbacks, laser rocket arm.
Now, the Colts enjoyed a lot of success in the 2000s thanks to that dynamic offense led by Peyton. The Colts really had all the potential to be the dynasty of the decade if it wasn't for a certain team in the Northeast. Now, going back to the 2006 season, the pressure on Manning to win a Super Bowl was at an all-time high. Not only had the Colts struggled to beat the Patriots, who was led by Tom Brady, but they also struggled to beat teams they were favored against, like the Pittsburgh Steelers. So the pundits began to chirp that Manning had never won a big game in college, and now their narrative was that he wasn't going to be able to win a big one in the NFL either. Now, make no mistake, that 2006 Colts team was star-studded. Outside of Manning, they had guys like Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, Dwight Freeney, Robert Mathis, and Bob Sanders. They had plenty of Pro Bowl and eventual Hall of Fame talent type of players on the roster. So of course, when you have a team like that, you're going to win a lot of games. And that's exactly what the Colts did to start the 2006 season. And about halfway through that 06 season, the undefeated Colts were taking on the Redskins, and they were in a close game. It was tied in the second quarter, and the Colts were in the red zone on a 2nd and 8. And that's when the hit that changed everything for Peyton Manning, the Indianapolis Colts, and Denver Broncos happened. Peyton Manning took the snap like he had done thousands of times. He felt pressure, tried getting rid of the ball, and that's when 2 defenders hit him. This ripped the helmet off his head and immediately sent a shock through the entire Hoosier state. Peyton Manning was on the ground, writhing in pain. Now, being the Iron Man that he was, Peyton took a timeout so he didn't have to go out of the game. But in between possessions, the camera showed Colts trainers working on Manning's neck and him moving his hand as if he had lost feeling in his hand. Something wasn't right, but Peyton finished the game with 4 passing touchdowns, and the Colts went on to win the Super Bowl that season, silencing the critics. Now, something interesting, the Redskins defensive coordinator at the time was Greg Williams. Yeah, that's the same Greg Williams who ended up becoming the New Orleans Saints defensive coordinator that got suspended from the NFL due to establishing an NFL bounty program, where players would get paid for pretty much injuring the opposing team players. Yes, that's the same Greg Williams who said he hoped the Saints would deliver Remember Me hits on Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl in 2009. But anyway, let me change the topic to something a little more positive for a second. Like this video sponsor, Maggie's Closet, an online pet boutique where you can get shirts, hoodies, harnesses, dresses, and accessories for your pet. Use the link in the description below to get 10% off your order. But back to the Colts and Manning, and it sure seemed like that Redskins hit back in 06 was going to be pretty easy to forget. Manning and the Colts won a Super Bowl that season. They made another Super Bowl in 2009, and it seemed like they were just the same old Colts. However, what a lot of people didn't know was after that hit, the Colts had to start cutting back Peyton's throws in practice. Tony Dungy, the Colts' former head coach, even traces a timeline back to that play. Peyton's last full season with the Colts was in 2010 before he elected to get neck surgeries to take care of lingering pain. Unfortunately for Manning, he ended up having to get 4 neck surgeries in a span of 19 months. These surgeries led the Colts to make a decision to release their franchise's best player, as they had the heir apparent Andrew Luck waiting in the wings. Peyton Manning was now a free agent, and he was a rock star. He visited many teams and was reportedly offered ownership in some contracts, but ultimately decided to go to the Denver Broncos. You've probably heard the story by now, but the all-time great went on to play 4 seasons with the Broncos and finished his career off with a Super Bowl victory. This story is definitely a great tale from the gridiron to tell, but there's no denying that one hit all the way back in 2006 not only changed the career of Peyton Manning and 2 franchises forever, but the entire landscape of the NFL was changed. Hey, I appreciate you guys watching this video, and if you could subscribe to the channel and comment what football story you want to hear next, it would mean a lot. Hey, thanks for watching.